Now that I have stayed with Peter Obi and talked with him, I can now tell you about him more. You know, say before, I did tell you from afar what I noticed from afar and what I saw he did in Anambra State from afar, not in closeness. But now, I can now tell you about Peter Obi, his personality. I can now tell you about him, and you go believe me. One thing I noticed about Peter Obi, when I stay with him, we can't talk, we can't converse. One thing I noticed about him, be say, well, that man know they deal with loyalists. He no there for loyalists. He no there for these people, this person. Oh yes, yes sir. He no there for. He did not surround himself with loyalists. Peter Obi surround himself with brains, people that have something to offer, people that can contribute. That one knows, as in, if you're just loyalist, make a day loyal to them. Everything when you talk, make a tell and say yes sir. Make a just agree. You no go see him again. You no go feel stay with them. You go, in fact, you go there very uncomfortable. You go there very uncomfortable if you are just a loyalist without brain. You go there very uncomfortable around Peter Obi. You no go feel stay. Other politicians, they surround themselves with loyalists. That's why you go see politicians go finish, then go do election finish. Whether they get brain or they know. That's why you go come for many ministries. Now people will no get brain, no go just full everywhere. Things go just destroy. Whether brain there, it will be no day for all those. You have to have something to offer.
You have to have capacity.
You have to have something to offer. Well, if you see the calibers of people where they be around now, people with brain, you go no say, oh, Bob, Nigeria is in a safe hand though if that man enter there. If you see brains, you know therefore, if you they tell them say yes, everything, yes, no. In fact, we can tell you one secret. Secret we all of them don't know. You see all these things where APC boys, they criticize Peter Obi. They love and die. You see all those criticisms? They sweet down. He likes it when people criticize him. He likes it when people will tell him, say, he did wrong here. You did not do this thing well. He like him. That man is ready to improve at any point. Oh, boy. After meeting Peter Obi, I have chosen the way I will be living my life. Criticize him, but criticism good, though. The only criticism will make you grow. He like him die. He like all those things. If you see us, if you they tell him say, if you are supposed to do this thing like this, why didn't you do? Oh, he likes it. What is your idea? Bring it. Make it here. Correct me. Correct me. I'm a human being. In the talk, I'm sure they hear in the talk.
I'm not a saint, but I'm not a criminal.
I think maybe all those things not. No.
I have never knowingly do anything that is wrong. Knowingly. If I know it's wrong, I won't do it.
In Minam. If I come in a room here and everybody likes me, I will leave.
If everybody here loves me now, if everybody here says, we'll vote for you and you're okay, I'll go away. I don't stay where everybody likes me, because then there's a fake.
There's no way everybody in a room will like me. Some will not like me. Some might not like the way I do things. That is the way life is. Oh, Bob. He's sweet as a guy. When they criticize him for making the good man, they climb. Hi, God. If you say God will just carry this man, put it here. I tell you, you see 2 years. I give Una 2 years. 2 years. Una go see changes for Nigeria. Forget about sentiment. This one no be sentiment again. 2 years if that man dead there. Mamamia.
But just before we go, everyone, and here is my final word tonight. And it's going to be majorly to Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu. 2 years are gone. Half of your constitutional mandate spent navigating the stormy waters of reform, resistance, and rising hardship. You came to office promising a renewed hope agenda, telling Nigerians that the pain would be temporary, like that of a childbirth, and that joy would follow. But 2 years in, the cries have grown perhaps louder. And many now wonder, when will the joy come? Inflation surged, food inflation went to an all-time height, transport costs were tripled, and the average Nigerian now spends more of their income just to eat, as if they are lucky. Petrol is hovering over 700 naira per litre, and electricity tariffs have risen even as supply is still very erratic. And yet, the Nigerian people, resilient, loyal, enduring, have held on. But holding on cannot be the national plan. You promised to lift millions out of poverty, create thousands of digital jobs in 24 months, and double power generation. These were not poetic aspirations. They were campaign commitments. Mr. President, time is not on your side. You have just 12 months before the political season begins to whisper again. If ever there was a time to show the fruits of sacrifice, it is now. You are the president of both your lovers and your loudest critics. The hopefuls who sang your name at the polls and the skeptics who prayed you will fail. But leadership demands maturity of mind and empathy of heart. You now preside over a fractured but hopeful nation. Good people, bad politics, and an ugly economy. Nigeria today is at a historic inflection point. Mismanage these opportunities, sir, and we risk descending into a cycle of unrest, disillusionment, and regret. But if you rise, Mr. President, to the moment, and you could become a defining leader, one whose name is etched in gold as a man who brought Nigeria back from the brink, you must ignore sycophants who clap in darkness while citizens cry in daylight. Mr. President, please urgently surround yourself with thinkers, doers, and patriots, not just loyalists. Every day must count. Every decision must deliver value. Because when a nation suffers this deeply, there is no luxury of time or ego. No more excuses. President Bola Tinubu, we in the media, we will do our own part. We will question, probe, inform, and hold you accountable, not out of hostility, but out of duty. The opposition must also rise, not just to criticize, but to push this country forward. Civil society organization must now organize, awaken consciences, and be the voice of the voiceless, and our people must now stop being docile. We need to raise a mass of active citizens who are willing to fight for their nation and also work hard for its good. Citizens, your voice counts. Don't lose it. And for those of us who believe and who are people of faith, we will pray, as scripture commands us, for the peace of the land and the success of its leaders. Because President Bola Tinubu, your success is Nigeria's success, and your failure will be our shared tragedy. Nigerians will rally behind you if they see sincerity, action, and result. But never forget, fury awaits any leader who mocks the pain of the poor. Sir, history is watching. Posterity is watching, and 200 million Nigerians are watching. Let this second half of your presidency be a turning point. Make us proud, President Bola Tinubu. Make Nigeria great. And that has to start now. That's my final word tonight, everyone.
Mr. Peter Obi's simplicity, his humility. Now, he's saying that, look, he has just one house in Onitsha. In Lagos, he has a flat. He stays in hotels in Abuja whenever he's there. Look, the same cannot be said for many of these former governors. And he also pointed out that since he left office as governor in 2014, no succeeding state government has even bought him a bottle of water. Well, if you compare that, I don't think he was saying that in the context of expectation. It was the subtext for me is the fact that many of these former governors, they collect all kinds of privileges from the states. They would take a house in their states, they will get a house in Abuja, their medicals and that of their families will be paid for by the state government. They will go on holiday at state expense. They just turn themselves into government children. Whereas the honor of service should be more important. And so you have an example of one governor here saying that, look, it's not a parasite. It was enough for him to have served. And I think that that is important. And you recall that in many states of the Federation, there's been, a protest against former governors who end up living a parasitic life, living like leeches at the people's expense in their various states. Again, about Mr. Peter Obi's simplicity. I was once on a trip to Morocco. Some of these people, when they are going to London, some people go through Libya, some people go through Turkey. They cannot afford to buy, direct flight ticket to London. And that was even in those days when, tickets were even cheaper, not now that, you almost have to go and rob a bank to be able to travel from one part of the world to the other. People were shocked when they saw Mr. Peter Obi inside the aircraft, inside economy class, going to London via Air Maroc. In fact, the whole aircraft, just stood up and they started clapping for him. They couldn't believe that a man with his kind of background as a businessman, a former governor, would just, take the simple route to go to London. I've seen him on the streets of London before. You will see him carrying his own bag. He doesn't have an entourage. Maybe you will see him with one person, Valentine, who was my classmate at Lagos State University. That's the only person you will see with him. And he will be walking on the streets like everybody else. So the humility that he brings to the task, the simplicity that he brings to it, the humanism, his lack of pretense, I think is something to be said for him. And it came through in that interview. Second is the record of his performance as governor in Anambra State. Now, as governor in Anambra State, well, you can benchmark whatever he says about education, about government house, and all of that against, the people of Anambra. In the Anambra will have their own assessment of, what has happened, how each governor has performed. But one thing that could be said about him was that he was a very religious, leader also in Anambra, particularly with the Catholic Church, and how he made efforts to reach out to other constituencies, whether church or Muslims, and promote the ideals of religious unity. Number 3, standout point for me here, was the point he was making about the state of the nation. Now, again, characteristically, he was talking about productivity. That is not enough for you to float currency, that you have to benchmark it with a lot of productivity. Well, he's been consistent in that